To summarize the video on the estate planning, everyone has a method of passing their stuff on, even if it's what the state says that you're going to do. Everyone has that. The very most important thing that you must have, no matter what, you must do is have your powers of attorney done and updated. It doesn't matter who it is, even if you're not sure who it needs to be, who it should be, have it done. That's way more important than who it is. Because if you don't do it, you will literally be treated like a child without parents before the court system, and someone will need to get conservatorship to act on your behalf, even if it's for a moment in time, so they're able to do anything for you. It is a complete mess. It's easily avoided for $75, and just don't do it. If you don't have a power of attorney, I won't ask you to potentially be exposed, but who doesn't? Don't answer. Who doesn't have your power of attorney updated? You have to have it updated. I have mine updated. My wife has it updated. You have to have your power of attorney updated, because anything can happen anytime. Even if you're incapacitated for a moment, even for a little while, you need someone to be able to make decisions on your behalf. Generally, the spouse can make decisions for you, but things happen, and it's so easy to have it done. Don't not have it done. The next most important thing is make sure you have beneficiaries on all of your accounts. Make sure that, well, what happens if something happens to me? It goes to my wife. What happens if something happens to both of us at the same time, which is almost impossible. But if something happens to us both, who's going to get our stuff after that? What does happen, though, I say almost impossible if something happens at the same time, oftentimes spouses pass or get promoted within a very similar time to each other, like within a few months. And the kids barely get recovered from what just happened, and there it happens again. And that creates a mess. Even if you have a plan, that can create a fantastic mess. We're in the process right now. I have a client that he passed away. All of his IRAs were going to his wife, who was, she is incapacitated. She is not able to think on her, not able to do things on her own, not able to sign on her own. And so her son has had to do everything for her benefit. And so in meeting with them, the hard question to ask, but it's important. Well, how long do you think just out of curiosity, how long do you think your mom's going to live? I know she's not able to be alone and not able to. She said, boy, I don't know, 5, maybe 10 years. It's hard to say. I said, all right, well, then let's take and make sure that we disclaim all of her assets and pass them on to you kids so that nothing goes in her name if nothing is in her name. Now, this is all under the guidance of an attorney. None of this is, I might come up with some ideas and based on things I've experienced before, but the attorneys do all the legal work. Okay, so this is not me saying this is what I want to do, this is me having an idea, this is what we should do, and attorneys say, yep, we can do that, here's the legal documents to do that. We disclaimed all of the assets to the kids, or started the paperwork to disclaim all the assets to the kids, got all the paperwork prepared. I called the son to tell him, hey, we've got this paperwork prepared. This just happened this past year. It was a Thursday morning. I called him and he said, we're not going to need that. My mom passed away last night. I was like, what? He said, yeah, I probably should have called you. She's been sick for the last couple of weeks. What does that mean? He said. And I said, well, it means that now we do have a mess for sure, because we didn't pass it to the mom. We wouldn't have really had time to pass it to the mom anyways. We didn't get it disclaimed, and so now the assets want to go to the mother's estate, which is not a big deal, except for they had quite a bit of money in IRAs, and if the stuff goes to the mother's estate, it's all taxed immediately, which just pushes the two kids into the highest tax bracket possible. So then I go back to the attorney and I said, gosh, what are we going to do here? He's like, there's nothing we can do. It's got to go to the estate. It's got to go through probate. That's the only way to do this. This happens from time to time, you know. And I was like, man, there's so much at stake here. There's got to be something that's happened before. So here I am. There's got to be something. There's got to be a way. And I said, all right, well, and I called a couple of other attorneys and was talking to them, and then 2 days later, the first attorney that did their legal work, he said, hey, I found some case law where we're able to do this, and we're able to do this, and we're able to get it set up so we're able to maintain that tax deferral and not pay taxes on all those. It was hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars per child that they were going to have to pay taxes on immediately. And he's like, all right, we got it figured out. And then we did. But the reason I'm telling you this story is so many things that don't normally come up, but they do, can easily be avoided with a plan. Easily be avoided. And you know one thing for certain, you are going to get a promotion, you just don't know when. Right? That will happen. Right. I talked in the very first time about not living long as much as living well. No one wants to live a life that's less than favorable, but having a plan to be able to manage things, if you do, is it's a lot less expensive than the insurance we pay on our homeowners and auto and all those things that we pay for that we hopefully don't have to use.